There's a strange realization that hits people who leave the US. It's not that they failed to escape, it's that escape didn't do what they thought it would. And when you zoom out far enough, you start to see something uncomfortable. Even people with power, even people with borders, even people with entire countries behind them don't actually escape pressure either. That's what this video is about. Not Venezuela, not presidents, but what happens when distance stops working. Right now, the world is watching another reminder of how far US pressure can reach. A foreign president, a sovereign country, geography that's supposed to mean something, and yet pressure still finds its way through. Most people are watching this as news, as politics, as power dynamics. But some people are watching it differently. Because if pressure doesn't stop at borders for presidents, what made us think it would stop for us? When people leave the US, they're usually leaving something. Not always the country itself, but the feeling of being watched, managed, squeezed, or defined. They're leaving the pace, the expectations, the constant performance, the sense that life is being run at them. And there's a quiet belief underneath it all. Once I'm out, things will loosen. Not instantly, not magically, but eventually. And for a while, it feels like that's true. The air feels different. The days slow down. People feel less aggressive. The system feels quieter. But then something strange starts to happen. You wake up one day and realize you're not being chased anymore, but you're still bracing. You're not being monitored, but you're still measuring yourself. No one is demanding anything, but you still feel behind. That's when the confusion starts. Because the external pressure did change, but the internal pressure didn't dissolve. And that's when a deeper question appears. If I left, why do I still feel like this? This is where the world event becomes a mirror. Because a president doesn't lack power. A country doesn't lack sovereignty. Distance doesn't lack space. And yet, pressure still exists. Not just because of force, but because systems don't only operate outside, they operate through. They shape incentives, they shape behavior, they shape what feels possible and what doesn't. And once that happens, geography stops being the solution. Most people think systems are laws, governments, institutions, but the most effective systems don't need enforcement. They get internalized. They become how you think about time, how you define success, how you measure your worth, how safe you feel resting. So when you leave the US, the system doesn't chase you, it waits, because it already taught you how to carry it. Some people leave and try to recreate the same life, just cheaper. Same hustle, same stress, different scenery. Others leave and swing hard in the opposite direction. They reject structure entirely. They reject ambition. They reject discipline. But the pressure doesn't disappear there either. It just flips into guilt. Then there are people who slow down, but not comfortably. They're calmer, but unsettled. Freer, but anxious. present but unsure who they're becoming. They're not failing, they're dislocated. This is the part nobody talks about, the phase after escape, but before arrival. You didn't go back, but you didn't land either. And the system doesn't feel gone, it just feels quieter, like it's watching from a distance. That's why so many people abroad feel like they're floating, not lost, not stuck, suspended. Power doesn't solve this. Neither does money, or passports, or status. Because pressure isn't just imposed, it's absorbed. And once absorbed, it keeps operating long after the source is gone. That's why presidents still feel it. That's why immigrants feel it. That's why expats feel it. Different scale, same mechanism. Here's the uncomfortable part. Leaving the US doesn't remove the system. It reveals how much it lives inside you. And that realization is destabilizing because escape was supposed to be the answer. So if you've left and feel strangely unfinished, if distance didn't untangle what you thought it would, if life feels quieter but not resolved, that doesn't mean you chose wrong. It means you're standing at the edge of something deeper than geography. This moment, this in between state, isn't failure, but it's not resolution either. It's confrontation. And what comes next isn't about where you live, but about what you've been carrying. That's where this channel goes next.